All right, so let's dive into something that's been kind of blowing my mind lately.
Okay.
AI.
Okay.
It's everywhere, right? ChatGPT, like 100 million users in, what, 2 months?
Yeah, crazy.
But here's the thing that I don't think people are really thinking about.
Yeah.
All those cool AI images, all the, chatbot answers we're all loving,
Right.
they come with a huge energy bill.
Yeah.
Like data centers already use a massive amount of the global electricity.
They do.
And AI is about to crank that up to like 11.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've got like a stack of news articles and research reports here.
Okay.
And they paint a pretty wild picture.
I bet.
By 2027, the electricity needed just for new AI servers could equal
Wow.
the entire power consumption of countries like Argentina or the Netherlands.
That's a lot.
That's from the New York Times.
Wow.
So for this deep dive, let's try to understand what this energy explosion means for the U.S.,
Okay.
especially given the, I would say, interesting relationship it has with its energy-rich neighbor, Canada.
Right. Yeah. It's fascinating here that it's not just running the AI software that guzzles power.
Right.
It's the whole infrastructure behind it.
Okay.
Think massive data centers packed with specialized chips designed to crunch insane amounts of data.
Yeah, one of the articles called NVIDIA's servers. Those are some of the most powerful, out there,
Right.
power-hungry beasts.
Yeah.
Why are these things such energy hogs?
Well, AI requires incredibly complex calculations.
Yeah.
It's not just about processing information. It's about recognizing patterns, learning, and making decisions.
Right.
That takes serious computing power, and power translates to energy consumption.
Okay.
Plus, you've got to keep these data centers cool, transmit data, maintain the whole system. It all adds up.
And on top of that, the U.S. power grid is already feeling the strain.
Right.
Even before we factor in this AI boom.
Yeah.
The Washington Post article I read highlights how some regions are already struggling to keep up with demand. Northern Virginia, for example, needs the equivalent of several nuclear power plants worth of electricity just to power its data centers.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's not just AI putting pressure on the grid.
Right.
We've got crypto mining, the push for electric vehicles, and even the manufacturing of clean tech.
Yeah.
Which ironically also requires a ton of energy.
Right.
It's a convergence of factors that's creating a perfect storm.
So we've got this huge energy demand on the horizon.
Yeah.
And the U.S. grid is already stretched thin.
Yeah.
This leads to a really interesting question.
Okay.
Could Canada be the answer? I mean, they've got a ton of hydroelectric power,
Right.
which is clean and relatively cheap.
It is, yeah.
Articles from CBC News and Fiduciary Trust really highlight this.
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
Canada definitely has the potential to be a key player here.
Yeah.
A lot of their data centers are already located in provinces with abundant hydroelectricity.
Right.
Think Ontario, Quebec, British Columbia.
Yeah.
So in a way, the infrastructure is there.
Right. And it seems like a potential win-win for both countries.
It does.
The U.S. gets the energy it desperately needs for its AI ambitions.
Yeah.
And Canada gets a boost to its economy and a chance to shine on the world stage as a leader in sustainable energy.
Right.
Right.
On the surface, it does seem like a logical partnership.
Yeah.
Increased energy security for the U.S. economic benefits for Canada and push towards more sustainable energy sources.
Right.
But of course, international relations are rarely that straightforward.
Well, about that, remember those news articles I mentioned from Al Jazeera, The Washington Post, and The Guardian?
Yeah.
They had something that really threw me for a loop.
You're talking about the incoming Trump administration and their recent announcement regarding tariffs, right?
Bingo. A 25% tariff on all goods and services from Canada. Everything. I mean, what's going on here? The U.S. might be needing Canada's energy more than ever.
Right.
And we're enacting policies that could make that cooperation a whole lot harder.
Yeah, it's a move that raises a lot of questions. Is it a strategic play for leverage? A misunderstanding of the situation? Or something else entirely?
It's like we're stepping on the gas with AI development while slamming on the brakes when it comes to securing the energy we need to make it happen.
Right.
This is a geopolitical puzzle, for sure.
It certainly is, and it's one that could have significant consequences for both countries and for the future of AI itself. But before we get into that, let's take a closer look at the specifics of this tariff situation and try to unpack what it might mean.
Okay.
All right, so
Yeah.
so you've stumbled upon a real head-scratcher, haven't you? It seems like we're on the verge of this AI revolution that demands a ton of energy.
It does.
And the U.S. might need Canada's help to keep the lights on, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yet this incoming administration is slapping a 25% tariff on them.
Right.
It just doesn't seem to add up.
It's baffling. And it makes you wonder, are we really prepared for the energy demands of the future? Like, is anyone thinking about this? How are we going to power all this incredible AI tech?
That's the million-dollar question. What's clear is that our current energy systems just aren't ready. We need a complete overhaul.
Right.
Think grid modernization, exploration of new energy sources, and a serious commitment to sustainability.
The Fiduciary Trust article mentioned some companies are already exploring alternatives like nuclear fusion and geothermal energy for data centers. Is that the kind of out-of-the-box thinking we need?
Absolutely. Nuclear fusion, while still in its early stages, has mind-blowing potential. It's clean, and the energy source is virtually limitless.
Right.
And geothermal energy, harnessing the heat from the Earth's core, is another exciting avenue.
It's not just theoretical either.
Right.
The Washington Post article mentioned a company in South Texas that's actually building a data center powered by geothermal energy.
That's encouraging to see. But we need a bigger shift, a collective push for innovation. A few companies experimenting isn't enough.
Yeah.
We need to rethink the entire energy landscape.
Okay, so we need to revamp the grid, find new energy sources, go green, all while navigating this tricky tariff situation.
Right.
You mentioned potential consequences. What are we looking at if this tariff goes through?
Well, the articles you pulled, especially those from Al Jazeera and The Guardian, paint a pretty grim economic picture.
Yeah.
They're predicting higher prices for consumers, a hit to U.S. exporters, and possible retaliation from Canada. It seems like a classic case of short-sighted policymaking.
Especially when you consider how much the U.S. might need Canada's energy for this AI boom.
Right.
Putting up trade barriers just seems like shooting ourselves in the foot.
Exactly. It highlights the need for a more strategic, big-picture approach to energy policy. We can't just focus on short-term gains while ignoring the long-term ramifications.
So we're potentially facing an energy crunch, economic fallout from tariffs, and a whole lot of uncertainty about the future.
Yeah.
All sounds a bit bleak, honestly.
It's definitely a challenging situation, no doubt about it, but it's not all doom and gloom.
Okay.
Remember we were talking about how AI itself might be part of the solution?
Oh, yeah. You mentioned AI could help us build a better energy future. How so?
Well, imagine AI optimizing energy grids in real time, balancing supply and demand so much more efficiently that waste is drastically reduced or seamlessly integrating those sometimes unpredictable renewable sources like solar and wind power.
So it's like AI could be the brains of a smarter, more adaptable energy system.
Precisely. But it goes beyond that. AI can also help us develop and manage those new energy sources we talked about, like fusion and geothermal.
Right.
Think about it, analyzing mountains of data to pinpoint the best spots for geothermal plants or optimizing the design of fusion reactors. The possibilities are astounding.
That's amazing. So AI could help us produce energy cleaner, distribute it smarter, and even use it more responsibly. Suddenly, the future's looking a little brighter.
It certainly has the potential to be, and it's a big BUTAI is a tool. It's not some magic wand that will fix everything. It all comes down to how we choose to use it.
You're saying it's not just about the tech, but about the choices we make about how to develop and deploy it.
Exactly, and that's where our listeners come in.
Okay.
We need informed, engaged citizens who are asking the right questions, demanding responsible development, and holding decision makers accountable.
So we have a role to play in shaping this AI-powered future, not just sitting back and letting it happen to us.
Right.
But what can we actually do?
Staying informed like you are right now is a great start. Read articles, listen to podcasts, keep yourself in the loop.
Yeah, so we've talked about the good, the bad, and the potentially world-changing when it comes to AI and energy.
Right.
But I got to say, like, thinking about this tariff situation with Canada has me feeling kind of uneasy.
Yeah.
It's like we're missing a big piece of the puzzle here.
You're right to feel that way. There's a lot at stake, and this tariff situation is like a glaring example of how political decisions can really impact something as crucial as energy.
Yeah.
It raises some really important questions about international relations and the role of cooperation in tackling these global challenges.
Exactly. Like, we need Canada's energy. They need a strong economic partner. And, like, the world needs us to figure this AI thing out in a way that doesn't fry the planet.
Right.
It seems like cooperation is the only logical path forward.
It does, doesn't it? Yet here we are, potentially jeopardizing that cooperation for what exactly?
Right.
Is it about gaining some kind of political leverage, trying to force Canada's hand in some way, or is it just a lack of understanding about how interconnected all these issues really are?
It's like we're trying to solve a complex equation, but ignoring half the variables.
Yeah.
And those articles I read, particularly the ones from Al Jazeera and The Guardian, really highlighted how much this could backfire on the U.S. economy.
Yeah.
Higher prices for consumers, damage to our own exporters, potential retaliation from Canada. It's a recipe for disaster.
It certainly has the potential to be, and it really underscores the need for a more informed and nuanced approach to policymaking. We can't just operate in silos focusing on one issue without considering the ripple effects it might have on others.
So what can we do? I mean, it feels like these decisions are being made way above our pay grade. How can we, as everyday citizens, influence something as big and complex as international energy policy?
That's where the power of awareness and collective action comes in. Remember what we said earlier about staying informed and engaged?
Yeah.
This is where it becomes crucial. Understand the issues, talk about them, make your voice heard.
You mean like contact our representatives, support organizations that are pushing for responsible energy policies, that sort of thing?
Exactly. Vote for leaders who understand the complexities of these issues and prioritize cooperation and sustainability. Support businesses that are investing in clean energy solutions. Make conscious choices in your own life to reduce your energy footprint.
It sounds like a combination of individual actions and pushing for like systemic change.
It is.
It's not about feeling powerless. It's about recognizing that we all have a role to play in shaping this future.
Precisely, the future of AI energy and even international relations is not predetermined. It's being shaped right now by the choices we make both individually and collectively.
Wow, I'm definitely leaving this deep dive with a lot to think about
Yeah.
and a lot more hope than I had when we started. AI's energy appetite is daunting, but the potential for innovation and collaboration is truly exciting.
I agree. The challenges are significant, but so are the opportunities. And it's up to all of us to seize those opportunities and create a future where AI can flourish without jeopardizing our planet or our relationships with each other.
Well said. So to wrap things up, it seems like the key takeaways here are AI is going to need a lot of energy,
It is.
and securing that energy will require cooperation, innovation, and some serious out-of-the-box thinking.
For sure.
And it's not just up to governments and corporations to figure this out. We all have a part to play.
Absolutely. We need to be informed, engaged, and active participants in shaping this AI-powered future.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
Of course.
We'll be back next time with another fascinating topic. Until then, stay curious and stay engaged.